Minerva, the Exalted.
Yeah, she's exalted because she's expensive. Yeah, Minerva's really strong. It's the Lightsworn boss monster. Obviously, it's very expensive, so not everybody can currently play it. Thankfully, it will be getting reprinted soon in Battles of Legend, Light's Revenge?
Knights.
Revenge, I think so.
Whatever.
Yeah, we're actually going to be giving that box away if we get to our subscriber goal. So subscribe, you don't want to miss it.
Subscribe.
Let's talk about Minerva. So she can detach and mill 3 cards off the top of your deck.
Oh, make sure you mention she is accessible at rank 4.
Yeah, very easy to make. And so for every Lightsworn that you mill, you draw a card. And in addition, you know, milling Lightsworns is good. And if you mill like Wolf and Fellas, even better.
Summon, they give you some presents. Fellas can pop a card. Wolf is a wolf.
Yeah, and then of course,
shout out to the furries out there.
When Minerva dies, you also send the top 3 cards of your deck to the grave. If every Lightsworn you mill, you blow up a card. So she leaves a parting gift, which is really deadly. What's interesting is she as a boss monster is pretty strong, but really she's just kind of part of a bigger 60 card Lightsworn mesh.
Yeah, she's kind of like I don't know, a mill engine.
Yeah, I feel like the reason I include her in this list is just because she's a troublesome card. When she hits the field, she can potentially plus, and then even when you get rid of her, she leaves gifts behind.
I guess what's the thing about her is that she's a on your turn mill, which is something that deck really has always wanted to have.
Yeah.
First they got Raiden, and then now you can summon Raiden, get that mill, then make Minerva, then mill again.
Independent milling, not end-phase milling. Number 9, number S39, Utopia the Lightning.
He can kill just about anything.
So he's actually been around for, you know, a fair amount of time now. He really only has one purpose, right?
Take that sword and
yeah, kill things with no like resistance.
Yep, he doesn't care if you float.
He doesn't care about like any spells, traps whenever he's attacking, and he's 5k. So he's swinging over god cards.
He's getting over you. There's not a whole lot you can do about him.
I guess the only downside is you do have to run a Utopia in your extra deck along with him.
Take up an extra slot, and you can only really use that effect once.
One good time.
Because he attaches 2 materials, and you only have 3,
So yeah, like but it's still a pretty good card. Even when it doesn't have materials, it still at least gets the battle phase immunity thing.
Has a little Armides effect going.
So it's not a bad card. It's definitely a good addition to the rank 4 toolbox. I almost wouldn't call it a boss monster so much as a boss slayer. But
he's a kaiju, but not.
But yeah, what's number 8?
I gotta look through this list because everything's out of order. Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon.
Yeah, not as prominent I think today as it's been in the past.
Yeah, we don't have too many synchro heavy decks to make him.
But you can still do it.
Crystal Wing is just as dangerous as it was then as it is now.
Yeah, negating monster effects is brutal. 3k attack is brutal.
You can't really swing into the thing because it gets stronger.
Yeah, it's really and if they make it with like the Wind Witch combo, you know, with the Winterbell Ice Spell Glass Spell thing, then Crystal Wing becomes invincible to spell and trap and destruction and stuff. Or well, just destruction.
Which makes him fun to deal with.
So like no Raigeki, no Dark Hole, no Slumbers. It's definitely a scary card to deal with. Thankfully, not too many decks are really making it right now. It's just that one.
Make him alongside any like back row or anything.
That's when it gets scary. DDDs can make it. You know, you used to make it a lot.
Make him next to a
Siegfried, Hope Harbinger.
Or Hope Harbinger.
All the good cards. Blue Eyes can make it. It's still pretty deadly. It's also still pretty expensive, but like Minerva, we'll be getting a reprint pretty soon.
He's accessible in that you can get him from the Sulky.
Yeah, that's my favorite part actually. And card number 7, Invoked Mechaba. So,
was it Merkaba or Mechaba?
I think in Japan it was Merkaba or Merkaba, and now it's like
Mechaba.
Anyway, this card's really good. It can negate things really easily, but what's special about its negations is it actually banishes whatever it negates.
Which, as we said in previous videos, banishing always trumps destruction.
Yeah, like, I really do think that that's sometimes the hardest part about facing Mechabas. Like, you're trying to maybe bait out its effects or something with a floaty monster, but then your floaty monster gets banished too, and it's just like, ugh.
So much for my float.
And, you know, it's part of the invoked archetype, so you can, whatever you're mixing invoked with, usually artifacts, can make it, you can
fairly easily
do it in like Blue Eyes and ABCs if you're like mixing with that. So it's pretty easy to make.
Build.
Someone play that on YGOPro, like some invoked ABC mesh thing. Invoked light swords I've also seen. A lot of ways to make it. So yeah, I guess the only weakness as a boss monster is he's only 2,500, which is like small in some sense.
If you're not at least 3K or 28, then you're not doing anything.
Yeah, so number 7 is Mechaba. Pretty good card.
Number 6 is Totally Us.
That's awesome that you mention it.
Some would wonder if he's a boss monster. Well, the way you were crying about him a few months ago, I think
so,
is a
yeah.
boss.
I'm glad like no one's crying about this card anymore.
Well, he's not as accessible, or maybe people are starting to see it the whole Bahamut Shark thing isn't.
Yeah, it's not as great as
costs
people
too
think.
many resources.
You know, something that's cool about Totally Awesome though is it's got the unique gimmick of it steals whatever you negate. So whatever you negate, you can set to your side of the field.
And
That's
he's fun for that.
actually really dangerous when it comes to like negating something like say terraforming. You know, you negate your opponent's terraforming and then you set it and then you get to use it.
What's fun is when you don't run any field spells. Such a dead terraforming on your field now.
There's that. And then also sometimes when you take stuff they negate, remember you're keeping it out of their grave. So, you know, if you negate pantheism of the monarchs, this is a random example, then it's not in their grave and they can't use it. And
Break the cycle.
that the same goes for monsters.
But if you're playing against monarchs, they've been play domains, so you're not gonna make Totally Awesome.
Yeah. That's a dark way of looking at it. But yeah, you know, Totally Awesome is a really good card. It's not very strong, but as boss monsters go, I still think it's pretty valuable.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good one.
Paleozoics can make it, you know, frogs can make it, mermails, Bahamut Shark plays.
Heroes.
Yeah, even heroes can. So it's a pretty good card. There's not too much to say about it other than
It does its thing.
negate stuff. I'd say it's pretty good. Number 5 card.
Oh, one thing. It puts itself back in the extra.
That's always annoying. I actually hate that. It makes it where you have to deal with a Bahamut Shark because otherwise, like sometimes it'll just come back. Number 5, True King Lithosagem. The Disaster. I wouldn't almost say it's like a boss monster, but it is really strong and it is kind of hard to summon as boss monsters are supposed to be.
And with an effect like that, I mean, it might as well be. If you don't know, Lithosagem lets you dig into your opponent's extra deck and banish 3 extra deck monsters. Well, 3 monsters, because they don't have to be extra deck monsters, with different names. So that includes any Xyz, Synchro, Fusion, and Pendulum monsters.
Yeah, you know all about that, don't you?
I do know about that.
Yeah, Lithosagem's pretty powerful. It's sad that, you know, like it's really at its most dangerous in the dinosaur deck, where it's really easy for them to destroy, you know, their baby dinosaurs, their searches.
Earth monsters everywhere.
And then they can banish 3 cards. And hitting 3 cards on your opponent's extra deck can be absolutely game-breakingly brutal.
I had a lot of fun with it in Ancient Gears, actually.
Yeah, that's true.
With they have level 9s, and he's a level 9, and they're all Earths. There's a lot of synergy there.
Yeah, and like, you know, with the extra deck, taking out cards like Utopia, like if you take out your opponent's number 39 Utopia, then you effectively take out their S39.
That's true.
And you can take out outs like, you know, Abyss Dweller, outs like Tornado Dragon, or all those kinds of cards. There's a lot of extra deck stuff that you can take out. Daigusto Emerald or like Zoodiac cards are, you know, always fun to get out of someone's extra deck.
Take out their Invoker. You know, take out the things that hurt their consistency.
Combo pieces, very good. And you know, Lithosagem's not bad. He's 2,500. He floats when he's destroyed. Although some decks don't actually have other worms to summon, but if you are using him in like
a True King
deck, then you can usually get back your other monsters. So not too bad. Number 4 is also from the dinosaur deck, Ultimate Conductor Tyranno.
Super ultimate mega awesome.
Which
Conductor Tyranno.
For a structure deck boss monster is really damn good. Like 30, what is it, 35 or 33? I think it's 35.
All I know is those stats are fat, man.
More than 3,000. And the worst part is you're able to destroy a dinosaur monster and flip your opponent's entire field face down, and you trigger your baby dinosaurs, which is broken, and then when he attacks defense position monsters, he sends them to the grave, doesn't destroy them, sends them, so negates a lot of floats, and your opponent takes 1,000. It's just like, and he's not that hard to summon. You just like banish 2 dinos.
Yeah.
Which are gonna be in your grave. I mean, like, they're really searchable. He's pretty overpowering. Like, he on his own isn't too bad, you know, he's not negating stuff, but when you have him beside like a Lagia, or beside a True King of all Calamities, or
any back row.
Just any back row, yeah. It gets dangerous fast. Not that much else to say about him. He's really only used in the one deck.
Yeah, he's not so accessible. Not some other things we mentioned.
What is number 3?
Number 3 is VFD, or the King of All Calamities.
Yeah, it takes 2 or more. Level 9s. Good for a couple of reasons, right?
Oh yeah. Number 1, its continuous effect is that you can tribute your opponent's monsters to summon your true kings from hand.
Which is really cool. You know, you can use your opponent's stuff to summon a Lithosagem, or like in my True King Yangzing deck, anything I want.
Remember, this is a tribute, so really,
it's just destroy.
My bad. I'm thinking of dinos.
Yeah, but it's really strong. But really, its first effect, I think, is the nastiest part.
Yep.
You can change things.
Like, all of your monsters, all the monsters on your opponent's side of the field, they will change to whatever attribute you choose. The fun part about that is it's continuous, so even if your opponent doesn't have any monsters at the time of you using that effect,
even if he leaves the field.
Yeah, during that turn, anything they summon will be turned into that effect, and they cannot use their effects.
Or attack. It's deadly. And you know, in addition to that, actually it does affect your field. It affects both fields, but only your opponents don't get the attacks and stuff. So you can actually use it to make like Bahamut Shark with your own monsters if you turn them water, and you know, things like that.
That is a fun little
and you can use it in tandem with its second effect, where like, okay, I have a Barastos in my hand, I want to make my opponent's monsters all water, and then I can use second effect, destroy my opponent's monsters, make Barastos, and now Barastos gets the extra effects.
He banishes the spells, right?
Yeah, he banishes 2 spells and traps. Yeah, it can be really deadly. And then in addition to that, VFD, or True King, is 3k 3k.
Yeah.
So he's thick.
You're not getting over that too easily.
And yeah, I really like him. So he made number 3. Number 2, ZOODIAC DRIDENT.
Or Drancia, if you're nasty.
The ones that people, these last 2 are the ones people really don't like. Yeah, so DRIDENT, enough's kind of been said about this card already.
Yeah, you know, it's a quick effect.
It's disruptive as hell.
Takes a card off the field.
Yeah, you know.
It's really the other cards around it that make it really
deadly,
difficult to deal with.
And what's also really harsh about the card is, like, you know, when it's got like 3 materials or something, or even 4 sometimes. Yeah, it can, you know, pop in your turn, pop in their turn, pop in your turn.
And let's not forget the different effects it can get depending on which Zoodiac's underneath it.
Because there's usually going to be like a Whiptail, so it actually makes it really hard to run over Drident without
you'll lose your monster
without losing stuff. And then, you know, it can even get attacked if it's got like Whiptail and like Thoroughblade. Then Drident can actually have
some stats,
like 2,800, I think. You know, like Drident, it's alone, like you said, alone, it's not that bad. But it's when it's like, you know, got other monsters, a field supporting it, is when it can get really oppressive. That being said, though, I think that Broad Bull is the one that needs to get banned, but it's a different topic.
It's a whole other video.
Yeah. But yeah, Drident makes number 2. And what is number 1 on our list of hated boss monsters?
Is, what is it actually? I forgot. Oh, yeah, that's right. It's Masterpiece.
The true Draco slaying king. The king of this list as well. I
think we actually don't have to talk about this one. I think all of you have enough grievances with this card.
I actually hate that card.
Just end the video right here.
I genuinely don't like Masterpiece.
He's playing Dracos.
Yeah. I think Masterpiece is it's overly powerful. You get to make it be unaffected by 2 different types of things, usually monsters and traps. So it's very hard to actually deal with. And if Dragonic Diagram's on the field, then it's like 3250, 3250. Can't die in battle once. Can't be affected by monster effects. Can't be affected by trap effects. Has a quick effect that's just like Drident that can pop on either player's turn. It can feel outright oppressive.
And he's not difficult to summon either.
You know, and then in the context of the rest of the whole True Draco deck, where they're popping all your stuff and it's super consistent and this thing's just big. You can summon 2 Masterpieces if you want. And, you know,
why not? And you have the whole other Draco suite to work with as well.
So yeah, Masterpiece is definitely one of the, I think the deadliest boss monster right now.
Oh, for sure.
You know, far. Right above Drident. So yeah, I think that's it. That's our list.
That is our 10 boss monsters of 2017.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting to see, what the rest of 2017 will hold when, links happen and everything kind of takes a turn. What will become prominent then? We shall see. Anyways, that's the video. So let us know what your favorite or least favorite boss monsters this year are. Let us know in the comments. Remember, it's the summer of Yu-Gi-Oh!
That's right.
We're uploading a video every single day, so make sure that you catch yesterday's and sub so you don't miss tomorrow's.